Death. Since the apple was plucked from the sacred tree, mortality was believed to be God's punishment, a righteous snare to keep mankind from ascending to the stars. They were all so wrong. Death is not a wicked thing, nor some holy retribution. A true punishment would be to never know its sweet kiss. Awaken from the harshness and be born once more. So thirsty.
My sweet brother. What have you done?
Mary! Oh, no. Mary! Hold on. Please, hold on. Oh, God. Oh, no. Mary. Mary. No. This horror. It's a nightmare. No! Please, a moment, let me explain! These patrols are after me. No, don't shoot! This is a nightmare. I need to get out of here. This can't be happening.
Over there!
No, please, stop! I mean you no harm. What's going on? Oh, Mary. What have I done? What's all this about?
Has it fled? Shit, where'd it go?
Now, I can defend myself.
Kill that thing! Over there!
Who are you? Stay back!
Don't let it out of your sight!
Sorry, but you left me no choice. Who are you? Stupid beast!
Look at it! Gone up like Caitlin.
Sorry.
See them fancy clothes?
No, please, stop!
That's what you do with leeches.
Who are you?
He's dead!
What do you want? I mean you no harm. I need help.
Die, you fucking leech!
Please, listen to me. I can't make any sense of this.
Shut up, beast!
Who are you? What is this all about? What in God's name?
I'll do the rest of the job.
Just leave me. The sun. It feels like it's burning me to the bone. I need to find somewhere to hide. I cannot enter. Let me go! I need to find shelter. Is anybody there? What is this place? The place seems abandoned. I should be safe enough here.
Brother, what have you done?
Mary! Mary! Mary, I'm sorry. Whoever did this to us, I will find them.
Wait. This one's dressed up fancy. Let's run through his pockets.
Picking the dead's pockets? Are you serious?
I've still a rent to pay. He's got no more responsibilities. What's this? Go watch.
Beautiful it is. We fancy it in shadow takings. I suppose we are undertakers. Now, give him an Eve.
That's impossible. I can almost feel the sun's rays like a physical weight pressing against the wood. Who goes there?
A prayer summoned by warring song. A child born from darkness must accept of his power.
Who's there? Are you referring to me? No! No! I still have so much to accomplish. I still have so much left that needs doing.
Johnny, this one's lost. We need to leave. And now!
No! There's time. I can save him.
That's the enemy coming! The orders are to evacuate the hospital!
Done. He'll live.
And now what?
We fight. Killing is a hell of a lot easier than healing. No, it never got easy. None of it. No sense at all. It's a nightmare. That's it. So be it. Rational thinking only. This is absolute madness. I've lost touch with the real.
Madness it is, as mad as the moon. Contains blinding sunlight into a glowing reflection.
Voice in my head. If I'm not mad, then it must belong to the one who made me what I am. I must find him to understand what I have become.
Where is it? It's closed.
These people want me dead. I need to leave now.
Here's the leech. Here!
My head's spinning.
Oi! Come out, you coward! Clever fucking beast!
It's locked. I'm still in Southwark. I must reach the West End. Go back home. I cannot enter.
Die, vermin!
A strength I never knew I had.
Oh, this one stinks already. There's one of them! Watch yourselves!
Every sinew, every fiber of my being is afire. I feel like a child learning the limits of my body. My strength, my reflexes. I'm not human anymore. My poor sister. If only I had controlled my need for blood. Mary, someone will pay for what happened to you. For what happened to us. This is despicable. It's locked. I can't believe I'm doing this. The dizziness from the jump. I can now control it. It's locked, all right. I have this thirst for blood. What will London have to say to me? I cannot enter. I've so many questions unanswered. very streets of London become a mausoleum? The man has been drained of all blood, but I can still smell the scent of it. I follow the scent's trail. Perhaps it will lead me to my assailant. Fresh blood. The smell is so strong. Something dire must have come about. There is no one in sight. It's locked. Where has everyone gone? At last,
Welcome,
a
sir,
little
to the
life.
Turquoise Turtle.
Good evening, sir. I wondered if I could ask for your help.
Wow, you look like you need a drink.
Yes. I apologize for my outfit. It's been a long night.
Been there, seen that. Don't worry, things can only get worse.
Has anybody entered the bar recently?
Can't say. Sorry. I spent the night making love to that gorgeous bottle, see?
This is important, sir. Are you sure no one has come in here in the last few hours?
I don't know and I don't care. This is a free country. People still have the right to come and go, don't they?
What's going on around here?
You must be new here. Have you not heard about the murders? Everybody fears the return of the sewer dog.
Who is this sewer dog?
It's the local bogeyman. Convenient answer for every crime that happened for decades. You murdered someone, blame the sewer dog, eh?
You make it sound like it's a fairy tale.
People will always believe in monsters. It's easier than accepting their own darkness. We can all be monsters.
I'll leave you to your bottle then.
I think I'm losing my mind.
My God, sir, you look like Jonah's whale just spat you out of hell. Can I get you a drink?
No, thank you. I'm not thirsty.
Well, grab a chair and get some rest. This is going to be another long night.
Why is it going to be a long night?
You must be new around here. Don't you know about the murders?
Tell me more about these murders.
Every morning for the last few weeks, bodies have been found. And those poor sods didn't die of flu.
Do the police have any leads on a suspect?
Even before the outbreak, coppers never came round here. We're on our own. People die in these parts all the time, and no one cares.
Where am I? Where is this place?
You're at my bar, sir, the Turquoise Turtle. The last ray of light in this dangerous part of town.
Aren't you scared?
Scared of what? All the bad shit happens.
So you're...
Yep. Figured people might...
I'm looking for someone who might have passed through here recently. Wondered if you might help.
It's been quiet tonight. The only other person I've seen went straight up to his room. Thought it was kind of rude, actually.
You mean he's still here?
Well, yeah. He paid for the entire week.
How long has he been here?
He rented the room a few days ago and...
Who is this man?
Well, like a gentleman, I guess.
I need to meet this man.
Just climb the stairs and knock on the first door. I heard him open his window, so I guess he's still awake. And,
Yes?
no funny business. You hear me?
It's a good thing you cannot see me now, Mum. Damn it. I think drink no longer stirs.
Hello, sir. Are you all right?
I don't know.
Maybe you prefer to speak with Tom, then. He's more agreeable talking to strangers.
What's going on around here?
Too many dead, sir. First the epidemic, and now all these terrible
The murders.
bodies found in the streets every morning.
The sewer dog.
No one knows. People have always disappeared around these parts. The ancients say it's the sewer dog coming out to feed.
What have you heard about the...
It's a Spanish flu. Yeah,
Are the authorities...
nothing. There are so many quarantine zones in London now. It's gotten really hard to travel across town.
What is this?
This is Tom's bar. A turquoise
Are you always open?
No, it's only since the epidemic started. Tom thought that people may need a safe place to stay.
You don't seem to have much business.
Well, most people are sleeping right now. And those that are awake tend to avoid going out. What with the murders and all.
I just want to talk.
I'm not afraid, sir.
I only see...
Oh. Well, yeah.
I'll leave then.
Damn it. I think drink no longer stirs me.
Poor Jack. He didn't deserve this.
Not long ago, this sort of mess would have given me a laugh.
Nobody at home.
Are they stupid or something? I've never even been to India.
This is no place for you. Prewen has several patrols roaming the area.
They do not pursue me.
But they're looking for vampires, and they're most efficient.
They'll not relent until the killer has been identified.
I have a common objective, but I require...
I think someone is eavesdropping.
Are you certain? You might as well come in, whoever you are.
Slowly, vampire. Who are you?
I mean you no harm.
Saith the vampire. Present yourself.
I need a word. With anyone.
Well, that's something I can do for you. And who might you be?
I'm not sure that I know anymore.
Might I at least learn the reason of your presence?
That's none of your concern.
Sir, you have entered my room in the middle of the night, pale as a corpse and shaking like a tree. So please, indulge me.
Someone is molesting people. In fact, killing them. Biting them.
The calling card of a vampire. Like you.
I've been hunted down in the streets and attacked. I'm a victim here too.
I believe you.
Then if you are not a vampire, who or what are you?
Dr. Edgar Swansea of the Brotherhood of St. Paul. I'm performing an independent investigation here in an attempt to understand precisely what is going on.
What have you uncovered,
It started a few nights ago.
How
A
different?
vampire is at work here. Famished. Reckless. It must be brought to ground, and quickly.
I heard another voice, that of a...
Ridiculous.
Something tells me.
Then the feeling is mutual.
And what exactly is?
Sir, if the name is not familiar to you, then
Then help me find the culprit.
I may. If you'll first tell me why you opened this door.
I followed a trail. The scent of blood from a recent victim. It led me here.
You thought I was your aggressor. That explains a great deal. We are both chasing the same shadow.
Perhaps. This is all new to me. I'm not even certain what I'm looking for.
You should let me handle this affair.
No.
How will you do any better than I? But then let me ask you this. What are your intentions if you find the killer?
I will at last have the answers to my questions.
Then I can only wish you good...
As far away from this place as I can.
I cannot enter. If Swansea is not my attacker, it means somebody else came here tonight. Someone must know something.
I hope I live long. Evening, sir.
I have a few... I spoke to Dr. Swansea. He's not the...
Truth.
I suspect that someone else was here tonight. And I don't think Tom wants to tell me about it.
I'm just the barmaid here, okay? If Tom...
I can feel your fear, madam. Please, tell me what's going on.
It's Will.
What happened tonight?
He was dead drunk, as usual. But my God, his eyes. His face. He must have caught something awful.
Why are you...
I mean, his skin. His hands. I scrubbed every glass and every chair that he touched.
Tell me about this, William.
Will was a sailor who worked at the canning factory before...
Why keep it a secret?
Tom's nothing if not loyal. After Will lost his job, he offered him one ear. They used to be good mates. But recently, well... Will started to get very aggressive.
I see.
I think drink no longer stirs me.
Hello, sir.
And you're still ugly.
I'll leave you to...
Welcome back.
I can't say I have. Are you...
Hey, I told you, you were the only...
Tom, talk to me about the visit from your old friend, William.
Yes, Will came by tonight, but he...
Why lie to me?
I didn't lie. I said you were my only unannounced customer.
Who is he?
William. Just an old sailor who loves his gin too much. He worked for years at the canning factory before it closed.
Is he dangerous?
Yeah. Like many drunks, he's all bark and no bite. He can barely stand up most of the time.
How was he tonight?
Sicker than usual, perhaps. He whined and mumbled about how mean people were to him and how he'd like to talk to me outside.
I need to find him.
You could try his boat. It's up by the North Pier. He sleeps there when he's too drunk to get home.
Please describe...
What do you expect? He's a tall, sick bastard with a bad rash and torn old clothes. William used to be strong. Now he's a...
Thank you, Tom.
If you see him, tell him I don't want him back here unless he cleans up his act, okay?
Jack. He didn't deserve this.
I will get to the bottom of this intrigue. What's been done to me, to this city. The body is still warm. This man has just been drained of blood. This man was armed. He tried. This corpse has been dried of its blood. What's this? These men, they're a company of professional vampire hunters. Blood and empty gin bottles. This Bishop fellow is something of a heavy drinker. There are blood splats on the other side of the canal. I must reach that barge. Ammunition crate. Good. I may need a lot of bullets. I feel like I'm back on the front line again.
Says a blood. We've got one job. And that's the one. Find a path. It's fair enough, Tom. But why do they hide where it's so damn cold? This is no place for a gentleman. Over there! Stupid fucking beast! I'm killing you! I like their screams when you burn them alive.
Over there!
We won't see any of these bastards back here again. I like their screams when you burn them alive.
Look lively! It's on! Fuck, it's fast! Over there! There's one of them vermin! Watch yourselves! That's it! Filthy vicious fucker! No!
Fresh blood. The whole building reeks of it. The scent is so strong it makes me dizzy.
I'll not betray your trust.
I need a... I'm so thirsty, William. As one, we shall overcome this.
This place reeks of bloodshed. It's locked, all right.
Stop!
Dearest friend, you're my last and dearest friend.
William, my arm.
This creature is
Can't feel it.
bedeviled. I must put it down.
William, please, stop. Let me go. William was an honorable man. I could have saved him.
Mr. Hampton, are you in there?
I knew him well, another lost soul, a kindred spirit.
Sir, listen to the sound of my voice. I'm a doctor. You're suffering from shock.
I must return to my flock. They'll stray without me.
Remember, certain skulls are every bit as resistant as we are.
Who are you? What do you mean by Skal?
You truly are a newborn. I should have realized.
Wait. You are the woman from the bar. Are you... like me? Can you help me?
I believe, sir, I already have.
By George and the Saints, you've solved the mystery of these terrible murders. Patience, good fellows, I've come to offer help. Just give me a moment to secure my boat. We can leave this awful place.
William was not the evil man they claimed. He was just taken by the thirst. He needed his drink.
This man requires medical attention. We'll see he gets to the nearest hospital.
No, please, I must tend to my fold. My flock needs me.
There, sir. Go with the good Dr. Swansea. He's resourceful, and I'm sure he'll take good care of you.
You'd best come as well. The sun is soon to rise, and you'll need a place to rest.
I just need a moment. If I can learn something about what has happened to William, I'll be a step closer to understanding what happened to me. This poor creature can't be my maker. Could it be some subspecies of vampire? I must find a place to analyze the blood. I cannot enter. Where are we headed?
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William was... what manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What... who is she?
What woman?
Oh, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that skull. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stone, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reed.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reed. A surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it! I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reed. Marvelous.
Have we met?
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word, again. From a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
And for that, you are right.
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this... affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy?
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reed here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming. I'm sorry, Jonathan. Mr. Hampton needs me right now.
Come on, you bastard! You can do better than that! It's my turn!
Rotten or pristine, each heart contains the secret of life. Drink at this river, try it all.
Oh, come on, you bastard! I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
All right, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
No more. Not tonight. Not like this. I will not take another life.
is wise for the huntsman to sometimes let his prey go, but no famished hunter can run for long.
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I found a wounded man by the docks. He answers to the name of Clay Cox. He requires urgent medical attention.
Already making the rounds? That's the Pembroke spirit. I'll ask our porter, Milton, to bring him back immediately.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
I would like to ask a few... And Mr. Hampton, the patient...
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep.
What kind of...
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
Apologies, I've only just met him the once. This is sudden. I've only just returned to England.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon, and...
If you could point me in the direction of...
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the...
Thank you, nurse. Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before.
Dr. Tippett's, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses.
He was also very confident about your...
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation?
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people.
What can you tell me about the staff?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about Cherish.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with.
You really seem to admire her.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine
Any opinion about the manager?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve. But I must admit, he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett. Good evening, sir.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole.
That's quite a blunt intro.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me.
I'm not sure I understand.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have...
How is the situation?
You want to hear the situation is all right?
Are you really smuggling weapons?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal...
But you're not defending yourself. You're
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their...
So what do you do exactly in this hospital?
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough.
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital?
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
I'd like to see your...
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun. Safer here than anywhere else in the East.
Dr. Swansea is right.
Reed, any...
This place seems perfect to conduct my research. Good evening, sir.
Unless you're here to fix my face. No.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken...
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars. If you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Damn. The pain.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is
You must get a hold...
Sorry, I'm exhausted.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you.
How long have you been in...
Or long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll check.
You'd be surprised what dedication...
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse...
How long...
Or long...
You'd be... How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why does Milton dislike...
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening, Mr. Hampton.
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite.
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
How did you end up in William...
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let...
Why did he...
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here.
You dared to enter this awful place alone.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching...
What is the general situation?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers trade union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their lead.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Dick.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in...
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no...
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your...
I manage a night asylum for the poor and
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton?
I feel exhausted.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take...
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe...
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd...
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this...
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to...
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over...
Carelessness?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of...
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to...
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have all...
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you...
And what exactly is that?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the mob...
Be careful what you insinuate.
I only want you to admit you used those men...
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you...
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing I don't question...
And what exactly...
I served in the war.
Be careful.
I only want you to admit you...
This is ridiculous.
You see...
It seems you have bad memories of your military.
I refuse to see this industrial...
We can at least agree on something. Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
And
I gave him...
What...
Well, you
Thank you, nurse. Good evening, madam.
It's my son who needs...
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I'm Beatrice Goswick.
What can you tell me about your...
Not much to say. Just...
May I ask if you have an
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical...
What do you think of your reception here?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital.
Is there something in particular that's bothering?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such...
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering...
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people in...
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other...
Goodbye, Mrs. Good evening. I'm Dr.
No,
Rick.
I don't want to talk.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're...
Yes.
Could you at least tell me your name?
Mortimer.
How painful is your...
So painful, I'd rather not talk.
I'll let you get...
I'm all right. Don't wait.
Good evening, Mr.
I'm okay.
How
So painful.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some pain?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence...
Yes, maybe. But I don't...
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad
My mother just wants the best for me.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox.
It's not me you have to convince, Doctor.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if...
That's tempting, Doctor.
Tell me about your...
I don't want to talk.
I have to go now, sir. But...
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening, sir.
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see.
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm...
Tell me about yourself.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family.
Are you satisfied?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases.
I won't lie to you about it.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And you're
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about you.
Strickland and Aykroyd.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on them.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick.
Nice, sweet girl. Reads me like a book. I'm so tired. I never could keep
Will this shift never end?
Good evening, Doctor.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work.
Please, could you tell me something about...
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood...
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have...
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the...
What made...
I'm not ashamed.
It's always a... I based my technique on my mentor's...
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages.
What can you tell me about...
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea, but with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn.
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult...
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our...
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work.
Do you need help with any...
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research. Yet...
Do you want me to play the errand?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare.
I see. Well, give me the address for... What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it...
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of...
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced.
What is it you really want?
Fair question. I want nothing.
Tell me, Mr. Fiddick.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury.
But why would he hide such crucial...
Because he is a proud father. Ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own...
This personal involvement could...
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior. A man who did not even take time to converse with...
Do you think keeping his distance...
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings.
Goodbye, Doc. Good evening.
Good evening, Doc.
Tell me about your injury, Huck.
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat.
How could your job be responsible?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
Tell me more about the death.
1915. I was in the army. Building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was
What happened? How are your children?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about it...
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer.
How are your children?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
Tell me...
1915. I was in the army. Building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps.
What happened? I'm sorry. Tell me more. What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Helen. I'm all right. As for me, blood an idiot.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir.
A colleague?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana. Pawnbroker and humble guy.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. Oh.
An interesting point of view.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked...
Do you work here?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main war...
Why do you have to watch?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sad.
Why close the hospital?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the...
Have we met?
I don't think so.
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me, sir.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body.
A pawnbroker?
Yes, sir. All kind of people.
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread.
I'm very cautious, sir.
What kind of good?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to...
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in...
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to...
Do you really believe?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or...
Quite depressing, wouldn't you?
Yes, but the good news is, we'll all die before losing our humanity.
So you're...
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict.
You're a wise man.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a fool. Please show, of course. It's just trinkets and curios.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of...
I beg your pardon.
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma How...
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you...
Well, Dr. Reed.
And why do you believe...
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow...
Please, describe...
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my...
Please.
I can...
I see. Have you...
Never?
It's...
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality.
I see.
Never?
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cottard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say?
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies.
Who are these enemies?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire!
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft?
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
It was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one...
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Doc.
Do you need medical help yourself?
I'm fine, really.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
daily route.
But the suffering continues.
It's locked, all right. It's locked, all right. It's locked. It's locked. This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin. William Bishop's blood. It is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now.
Buried in the same mass grave as your wife. I hope that might help.
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody. So, Mr. Hooks and Nurse Hawkins are an item. Those two have hidden their affections well. Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what...
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
I have some good news.
What? The epidemics?
I retrieved your wallet.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin color that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway.
What's going on between you and...
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples, just like you, come together in difficult circumstances.
Maybe you're right. But we support...
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
Goodbye, Milton.
If only I were young.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. The new...
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir.
Did he really? It's a good thing...
All members of staff have already read about your...
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
An invisible enemy? Quite a poet.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but... how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them? Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett's. He should be a standard for us all here.
Why should his age be a...
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct.
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably...
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge...
Goodbye, nurse. Call... Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once...
Nurse Brannigan...
She should not have told you that.
You don't have to blame her for...
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only...
Goodbye, Doctor. It's locked, all right. Good evening, Nurse.
Good evening, Doc.
Pepper, I know you...
Yes? Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that...
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins. But are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as an...
Is he worth...
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke. But we do our best to get by. That...
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Daily routine.
I'm sorry you ended up on my plain and cold medical bench, sir. I understand you must be very angry about this unfair situation.
He's mine! I'll take it! It's too strong! That leech is mine!
This is no time for self.
Stop! Right now! It's one of them!
I cannot enter.
I'd step back, sir. Sir, step away. Steady, boys. Is it them weapons ready?
Die, Vampyr!
Are you deaf? It's one of them! I'll take his head!
He's too fucking fast! Shit, that leech is fast!
It's locked, all right. If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood? The flower's dying. It needs water. The flower's dying. It needs water. It's locked.
Not now.
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
What type of hospital are you?
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the